Emeka had always known that football was his gift. From the moment he kicked a ragged ball down the dusty streets of Enugu, he felt an undeniable connection to the game. His feet moved with the rhythm of the earth, his mind calculating passes and movements instinctively. His friends called him Golden Feet, a nickname that stuck after he led their school team to victory in a local tournament. But no matter how many people believed in his talent, there was one person he could never convince: his father. Pa Obinna was a man of strict principles. To him, education was the only ticket to success. Football, in his eyes, was a waste of time, a distraction from the real goal: becoming a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. Every time Emeka brought up the idea of joining a professional football academy, his father shut it down with a firm, "No son of mine will waste his life chasing a ball." It was a wall Emeka could never climb, no matter how much he tried. And now, with the weight of school on his shoulders and the looming fear of disappointing his father, he felt trapped between two worlds: the dream he longed for and the reality he was forced to live. The next morning, Emeka could barely keep his eyes open in class. Training had taken a toll on his body, and waking up early for school felt like torture. As the math teacher droned on about algebra, his mind wandered to the tournament. Only 3 weeks remained before the big day, and he still had a lot to work on: in his stamina, his finishing, his decision-making on the field. Emeka. His head snapped up. The entire class was staring at him. The teacher, a short, stout man with thick glasses, frowned. "What did I just say?" Emeka opened his mouth, but no words came out. "Exactly. Nothing. Pay attention." As the class burst into quiet giggles, Toby nudged him under the desk. "Bro, you have to be careful. You're getting too distracted." Emeka sighed. He knew Toby was right. Balancing school and training was harder than he expected, but he couldn't afford to fail in either. He had to find a way to make it work. Later that evening, Emeka's mother found him in his room, pretending to study. She sat beside him, gently placing a hand on his shoulder. "You've been coming home late," she said softly. "I told Papa, I have extra classes," Emeka replied, avoiding her gaze. His mother sighed. "You are a terrible liar, my son." Emeka froze. Did she know? "I see the way your eyes light up when you talk about football. I see how restless you become when your father speaks against it. Tell me the truth, Emeka." He hesitated, then nodded. "I entered a football competition, Mama. The prize money is enough to pay our rent and settle our debts." His mother's eyes widened, a mix of shock and sadness. "But your father? He won't understand," Emeka cut in. "But I need to do this. For us." She stared at him for a long moment before finally sighing. "Be careful, my son. And whatever happens, don't let this ruin your future." At training the next day, Emeka and Toby arrived at the field to find a group of older boys already practicing. These were street footballers, known for their aggressive play and brutal tackles. Among them was a tall, muscular man with a whistle around his neck. "That's Coach Bola," Toby whispered. "He's one of the organizers of the tournament." Coach Bola watched as Emeka dribbled past 2 defenders and fired a shot into the goalpost. The man clapped slowly, walking over. "You've got skill, boy," he said, his deep voice carrying authority. "But skill alone won't win this tournament. These boys will eat you alive if you're not ready." Emeka straightened. "Then I'll train harder." Coach Bola studied him for a moment before nodding. "Come back tomorrow. We'll see if you're serious." As they walked home, Toby grinned. "Bro, you just impressed the toughest coach in town." Emeka smiled, but inside, he knew the real challenge was just beginning. By the end of the training session, Emeka's body felt like it had been run over by a truck. His legs ached, His ribs throbbed from a rough shoulder barge, and his breathing was heavy. Yet, through the pain, he felt something else, excitement. He had held his own against the older boys, and even managed to score a goal. Coach Bola approached him as he wiped sweat from his forehead. "Not bad, kid," he said. "But not good enough to win." Emeka clenched his fist. He had given everything, but it still wasn't enough. "You need to be stronger, smarter, and faster. The defenders in this tournament won't go easy on you," Coach Bola continued. "If you want to survive, come back tomorrow. I'll train you personally." Emeka's eyes widened. A personal training session. That was an opportunity he couldn't pass up. He nodded, determined. "I'll be here." When Emeka got home that night, he could barely walk straight. His legs felt like lead, and his arms were covered in small bruises from all the challenges. He knew he had to act normal. His father must not suspect anything. "Why are you limping?" his mother whispered when she saw him. "Training," he muttered. She shook her head. "Be careful, Emeka. If your father finds out." "I know, Mama," he said, his voice firm. "But I have to do this." She sighed but said nothing more. Emeka knew she was worried, but he also knew she understood why he was doing it. He could not afford to stop now. The next evening, just as Emeka was leaving for training, he heard a voice behind him. "Where do you think you're going?" He turned to see his father standing at the doorway, arms crossed. Panic shot through him. Had his father found out? I was just going to study with Toby," Emeka lied. His father's eyes narrowed. "You've been disappearing a lot lately. I hope you're not wasting time." Emeka forced a smile. "No, Papa. I promise." His father grunted, then stepped aside. "Good. Make sure you come back early." Emeka nodded and quickly left, his heart still racing. If his father ever found out the truth, everything would be over. As the tournament approached, the stakes grew higher, and so did the risks. But Emeka knew one thing for sure: he had come too far to stop now. The tournament day arrived, and the energy in the air was electric. The stadium, though small, was packed with spectators, scouts, coaches, and excited fans. Emeka stood near the entrance, taking in the scene. This was it. His moment. Toby clapped him on the back. "Nervous?" "A little," Emeka admitted, bouncing on his feet. "Good. That means you care," Toby said with a grin. "Now go out there and show them what golden feet can do." Coach Bola gathered the team in a huddle. "Listen up. This is not just about football. This is about proving you belong. Every goal, every pass, every moment matters. Give it your all." The referee blew the whistle, signaling the start of the first match. Emeka stepped onto the field, his heart pounding. There was no turning back now. Their first match was against Lions of ABA, a well-trained team known for their aggressive play. From the moment the game started, it was clear they were out for blood. The defenders were rough, shoving and tackling with force. Emeka struggled to find space, but he refused to back down. Then, in the 30th minute, an opportunity came. Toby sent a through pass, and Emeka sprinted past the last defender. With a quick step over, he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way and slotted the ball into the net. "Goal," the announcer shouted. The crowd erupted, but Emeka didn't have time to celebrate. The game wasn't over yet. The Lions of ABA fought back hard, equalizing just before halftime. It was 1-1, and the pressure was on. In the second half, Kamalu, who had been quiet, finally made his move. He dribbled past two defenders and took a long-range shot. The ball swerved into the top corner. 2-1. With minutes left, Emeka knew he had to act fast. He received the ball near the edge of the box, faked a shot, and slipped it to Toby, who buried it into the net. 2-2. Then, in stoppage time, Emeka got one last chance. He danced past his marker and fired a shot into the bottom corner. The whistle blew just as the ball hit the net. They had won. After the match, as Emeka wiped sweat from his forehead, he noticed a man in a black suit watching him from the stands. The man whispered something to another official before disappearing into the crowd. "Who was that?" Emeka asked Toby. Toby shrugged. "I don't know, but he looked important." Before Emeka could think more about it, Coach Bola called them over. "Great game, boys. But this was just the beginning. Rest well, we have another match tomorrow." Emeka nodded, but in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was happening. That night, Emeka arrived home exhausted, only to find his father waiting for him in the living room. "Where have you been?" Pa Obinna asked. Emeka's stomach tightened. "Studying at Toby's place," he lied. His father reached into his pocket and pulled out a tournament flyer. "Then why is your name here?" Emeka's blood ran cold. He had been caught. Pa Obinna's face was a mask of fury. "So this is what you've been doing? Lying to me? Playing football instead of studying?" Emeka clenched his fist. "Papa, Enough," his father roared. "I warned you. Football is not a future. Do you think you'll be the next big star? How many have tried and failed?" Tears burned in Emeka's eyes, but he held his ground. "I have to try. I have to fight for this chance." His father pointed at the door. "If you step onto that field tomorrow, don't bother coming back." Silence fell. Emeka's heart shattered, but his decision was made. He would play. The stadium was packed for the final. Fans chanted, drums echoed, and tension filled the air. Emeka's mind was heavy with his father's words, but he pushed them aside. He had one job: win. From the first whistle, Stormbreakers attacked relentlessly. Within 15 minutes, they had scored. 0-1. Coach Bola yelled, "Wake up." Emeka took a deep breath. He wouldn't lose. Not now. In the 30th minute, Emeka received the ball at the edge of the box. A defender charged at him, but he feinted left and caught right, leaving the player stunned. He fired a shot. The ball rocketed into the net. 1-1. The crowd went wild. But Stormbreakers weren't done. They came back stronger, forcing their way through the midfield. Just before halftime, they struck again. 1-2. As the referee blew the whistle for the break, Emeka clenched his fists. They were losing. And time was running out. Coach Bola's voice rang in their ears. "This is it. Give everything you have." The second half began with a fiery pace. Every pass, every tackle, every moment mattered. Then, in the 75th minute, Toby found space and delivered a perfect ball to Kamalo. The striker smashed it home. 2-2. It was down to the last minute. One goal could decide everything. The clock hit 89 minutes. A long ball was sent into the box. Emeka sprinted forward, leaping higher than he ever had before. His head met the ball with force. Time seemed to slow as the ball soared past the goalkeeper. Goal! The stadium exploded with cheers. The referee blew the final whistle. They had won. Emeka collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed with emotion. His teammates swarmed him, lifting him onto their shoulders. Tears filled his eyes. He had done it. Then, in the crowd, he saw something that made his heart stop. His father. Watching. Pa Obinna's face was unreadable as he walked onto the field. Emeka braced himself. But then, his father spoke. "You proved me wrong." Tears welled in Emeka's eyes. For the first time, his father placed a hand on his shoulder. "I am proud of you, my son." Emeka had finally won, not just the game, but his father's acceptance.